What else are you playing?
I was playing Far Cry 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I traded that in today. Not because I finished it, but I am finished with that game.
It came out like 4 days ago, Jay.
Yeah. I consider myself to be a fan of the modern Far Cry game. I got almost all the way through Far Cry 3 until I hit a story stealth mission, and I hate stealth in games, period, and I just got frustrated, stopped. Far Cry 4 I loved.
Mm-hmm.
I also played Blood Dragon 2, and I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Gotcha.
My big problem with Far Cry 5, I've just cut to the chase. I know there's probably a lot to talk about with the cult and political messaging and stuff, but my big hang-up was the glitches.
Mm-hmm.
And one in particular I ran into was that there's a plane mission, like early on in the game. And I know I suck. I crashed the plane. When the game reloaded, I started with the plane, inside the plane, in midair, with no momentum, and you cannot just start flying because this particular plane, you have to get momentum on the ground to go up. So I'm just on a plane crashing over and over again. And the first time it happened, so this happened multiple times. The first time it happened, I happened to be over a body of water, and I could kind of steer it into the water so it didn't completely break. The second time around, I was just over land, and it was just instant death over and over again. You couldn't reload any old checkpoints. The only thing you could do was jump out of the plane and parachute. But then at that point, you're in the middle of nowhere. You have no transportation. And even when you fast travel, then you're sitting through another minute of load screens, and you probably still have to hop into a car and drive to wherever you're going because the fast travel points aren't close enough. So I just said, forget it. I do not... My tolerance for glitches that impede progress through a game is insanely low. Well, I don't know if I'd say insanely low. Like, the first time this happened was Battlefield... Is it Battlefield 4? The one that came out at launch for the...
Battlefield. Oh, it came out for launch for what?
PlayStation 4. On launch day, that game did not save your progress in the campaign. Like, it would tell you it would save. You could click save, and it would just not save. And so I came back to it. I started from the beginning. I played an hour, hit save, started again, and my save wasn't there. I just forget it. No, I'm out.
Seems like something they'd catch in QA like really fast.
Yeah. And I mean, also an EA game, Mass Effect Andromeda. We'll talk a bit more about that later, but ultimately why I dropped that game was just bugs. Like, I ran into glitches where entire quest lines just did not work or would just lock up the system. There was one on this plane. It was like, oh, we need help over here. And then you drive into that area or you walk into it, and then the system would just lock up. You'd have to, like, turn the system off or unplug it from the wall to get it to, like, restart.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Again, things that they should catch in QA.
Yeah. Well, for sure. So, not playing Far Cry anymore.
I'm still interested in it. You didn't mention Far Cry Primal. I liked Primal a lot. Did you play it?
No, I did not.
Really?
Yeah, I think, like, the Stone Age theme, I didn't seem all that interested in it. And I was just like, okay, I'll just take a break.
No, I think that's what a lot of people did too. And I think Far Cry 4, I think it was the first game I actually got on my PlayStation. But then we got Primal for a cheap deal, like $20. And yeah, Laura and I both beat the whole thing, and it was great. Like, I liked it a lot, but I think I do like that setting. I mean, I have a degree in history, so it was kind of cool to see all like the old timey stuff. But it was fun, and it's the same idea. Just replace everything with guns with, you know, sticks and spears and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, and I thought it was kind of easy, to be honest. There was still somewhat those stealth missions, which I also didn't like from the other Far Cry games, but it just felt a lot easier. And since then, I was really turned on to the idea of Far Cry. Like, yeah, I could do this again. So when 5 was announced, I thought it was cool. Just, you know, don't have the money to get it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I traded that in. I'll use it for something at some point. I think the next big game I have on pre-order is Crackdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's good. Please, I need stuff to play on the Xbox.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft really dropped the ball on the Xbox One this gen.
No,
it's unfortunate.
What else is even coming out for it?
I don't know, man. I guess Halo 6?
Dude,
At some point,
when I think of Xbox exclusives, I still only can think of Sunset Overdrive, and I think that was a launch game.
yeah, and that game was great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have my Xbox One games. See, I can count them on my shelf. There are 5. I see Sunset Overdrive, which is great. Doom, which for some reason I decided to get the Xbox version. That game's great. What is that? Oh, Rare Replay. Speaking of Rare, yeah. So all their old games that were not on the Xbox are there.
Fair enough.
Rock Band 4. Yeah, I thought I like the fact that all my like thousands of dollars worth of DLC are on a modern system, but I played it for like a week and was like, yeah, I kind of don't want to play this anymore. It's still Rock Band. I'm still reluctant to get rid of those instruments. They are now sitting in a box under the stairs in the basement, but I can't let them go. I just feel like someday I'm gonna want to play Rock Band, and when that day comes, they will be there.
You'll be ready. You're never gonna play.
I'm probably never gonna play Rock Band again. And the final game I have here, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Couple other games I've been playing. I'm still playing Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is it's amazing. They did an incredible job with the animation work. It looks at times better than the show, which is weird. They translated so much of what makes that show great into the game itself, with like particular special moves are done like at the end, like it'll pan to the exact angle it happened to in the manga or in the cartoon. It's nuts.
That's cool.
And the fighting in it is generally really well done. I've struggled with ArcSys Works games in the past. I find them to be overly complicated with too many systems.
But BlazBlue,
Guilty Gear, Persona, Arena. Is it Arena?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah. And they've simplified it enough to a place where it makes sense for me, even as someone who plays a lot of fighting games. And so it's largely scratching the Marvel vs. Capcom itch. It's not quite there. It's probably a little simpler than that, but for the most part, it's really good.
Good. I mean, it looks great, and just what you said, like the comparisons to the manga and the anime, makes me want to play it. But I haven't gotten to it yet. Are you playing it on Xbox, PS4?
PS4.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Actually, on Xbox, it probably is, right?
Yeah, it's on Xbox as well. Yeah. Probably looks great on the Xbox One X.
Yeah. I have a regular PS4.
Okay.
Non-pro PS4.
Yeah, I have that as well. One other game we can talk about here. I'm playing Pokemon Ultra Moon.
Oh, nice. I played a lot of Sun and Moon, but I didn't get the Ultra ones.
Okay, I don't know how much different Ultra Moon is. Steph played Pokemon Sun, and I've told her about like the major story beats as they go on, and she's like, yeah, that all sounds exactly the same. So I don't think it's that much different, but I've only played the only other like mainline Pokemon game I played was Pokemon X, and that like I really like the fighting in that game, but everything else about that game drove me nuts. I found like in the overworld I was getting lost all the time. I wasn't really sure where I was supposed to go next. Areas would be arbitrarily locked off, and I'd have no idea how to unlock it, and usually it was something completely unrelated. That's still kind of in Pokemon Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun, but it's not as bad. I don't find myself getting lost nearly as much.
Yeah, I agree with you. Is X and Y, those are the ones, like the Paris themed one, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. When you get into the town where it's like supposed to be like Paris, and like the camera like switches so you walk oh my god, it's so annoying, and like I get so lost. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I feel you, like with I think I played Moon. When everything feels a lot more linear in a sense, but like you have your variety of where to go, but you always knew like which direction you were going. Yeah. So I like that. And even when you hop to different islands, it just made more sense. So I agree with you.
I'm on the final island now, and I should be done soonish. I've been playing it on the train for like the last few months.
Yeah.
Just slowly chipping away at it when I'm not asleep on the train. So
Yeah. Who'd you pick for your starter?
I picked Poplio because I've heard everybody hates Poplio, so I wanted to show it some love.
I think that might be why Laura picked Poplio, because we were between Rowlet and Litten, but I was like, well, I know I'm gonna pick Rowlet because I like to rotate. So like, I think the previous game I picked like a water starter. So but yeah, I like Rowlet. I like how he like goes through his like emo status of like evolutions. He does this hit bird and then he flips it back. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, Steph picked Rowlet too.
Oh, he's adorable. Steph is great.
So that is it for current games. I love my Nintendo Switch. I haven't played it in a while though, just because I primarily play it on the go and I've been playing Pokemon. But I do want to get Punch Out.
Punch Out?
Arcade Punch Out is out on the Switch right now.
Right. Oh yeah, you can play it like the arcade way. I think.
Yeah. By chance, have you ever played that?
I have. I was gonna say we usually have our there's a convention in our hometown now that does it's an arcade show.
Okay.
And every year, someone always brings the Punch Out machines, so Super Punch Out and regular Punch Out. They're freaking hard, dude. And like just compared to the Super Nintendo one and the regular one, like it's kind of night and day. They're very different, but it's interesting.
Okay.
I think on my I have an arcade blog on Tumblr, which I should link to that. You can see like the screenshots from it and like how it looks. It's neat, and it makes sense like that the Switch goes this way because that's really how the cabinet looks. So it's kind of cool.
That's funny how it's kind of a weird precursor to the DS.
Yeah, no, it's true. It kind of is.
Yeah, I've played it one time at Niagara Comic-Con, and yeah, it. I remember the first guy being easy, and then the second guy being pretty hard. Yeah, and then it only got worse.
Yeah, I don't even think I beat the first guy. I think I just lost. But that being said, when I did get my SNES Classic, the first game I did play and beat was Super Punch Out because like the back of my hand, like I played that game so much.
That game is so good. I think it is wildly underrated in the Punch Out series. I know there's only like 3 games.
There's 3 games, but it's probably like the lowest rated one, and I think it's great. And like every character is so amazing, and so many good stories growing up with my brothers playing that game.
Yeah, that game just does not get a fair shake because it does not have Mike Tyson in it.
It's true.
But I think it is overall probably a better game.
Yeah, totally. Way more solid and better characters, better art, better sound. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.